The humble £5 note. Do you think that this could pay for 2 people for 1 day? Well, actually, it's not £5, it's actually this. 500 rubles, because we're in Russia.
People in the West often think that Russia is an incredibly cheap place to live, but is that really true? To find out, we'll visit several different shops, comparing prices and stretching every last ruble as far as possible. Then we'll see just how much food we can make from what we have bought, with a few unexpected surprises along the way. Will this challenge be harder than anticipated? Join us on this little £5 adventure. Today we are starting off this challenge in Magnit, one of the more budget-friendly options in Russia for most items, but not as much as another shop we'll be visiting later.
Вот эти дешевые, вот эти за 18, а вот эти стоят 22, ну какие берем? Крупа манная, но это нам не подойдет. А вот смотри, 57, такая каша ассорти. Тут 5 пакетов. Я сейчас буду долго искать.
Нет, сейчас нет.
Закончились. А есть что-то похожее?
Наверное, фарш. Пельмени.
59 берем. Спасибо.
Пожалуйста.
Есть такие маленькие сыры. Они стоили раньше по, не знаю, ну вот 21 мини-сыр можно в суп добавить. Чижики дешевле, пойдем в Чижик.
If you want to see the receipts from this challenge, as well as plenty of other behind the scenes and bonus content, then follow me on Telegram. I actually posted a preview of this video about a week ago on there, so come and join our little community over there.
So the next place we're going to is a shop called Chizhik, which was introduced to us by my sister-in-law. So Uliana, if you're watching this, thanks for the advice. They have some great budget options there.
Давай зайдем в пятерочку, посмотрим цены на яблоки. Так, яблоки. Нет, видишь, какие они дорогие, а те были дешевые. Это те были вот именно курс. Смотреть, ну ладно, если там будут яблоки, то и возьмем. Чиж.
As I mentioned before, Chizhik is a more budget-friendly option which was recommended to us by my sister-in-law. It's named after a type of bird and the shop's branding matches the colours of that bird. It was after visiting here that we actually got the inspiration for this challenge, so let's see what we can buy with our remaining budget.
Тульский праздник, кстати, за 39 мы можем позволить в свой бюджет. Ладно, вначале пошли купим необходимые продукты. Чтобы... Так громко. Ребята,
Это не, это просто что-то. Так часто, наверное, да.
This video was actually my wife's idea and she's very passionate about it. So please tell us in the comments what you think and whether you'd like to see more stuff like this in the future. Plus tell us if this will be possible at all where you're from.
для супа. Или слишком много для супа. Какая сойдет? Давай яблоки, Бен. Ой, я знаю, мы можем купить один банан для каши, будет хорошо. Или апельсин. Апельсин у нас будут витамины даже.
Now that Zlata is in the fruit section, it's time for us to see her orange juggling skills.
Блин, я буду их вечно выбирать. Так. Давай, в зависимости от того, сколько у нас останется денег, мы подумаем, что мы хотим сами.
So with the money left over, we decided to look at what items we could buy for that money. Perhaps we'll even find ourselves a little treat.
Мы можем даже такое позволить, но это сладко. Пошли посмотрим.
However, unfortunately, the items we bought before, which inspired this challenge in the first place, were all unavailable today.
Чебуречки, помнишь? А где чебуречки? Тоже нет. Все, что в наш бюджет, заканчивается.
We have 118 rubles left, so we thought we'd get ourselves a dessert.
Now let's head home and make use of today's loot.
сожалению, мы не очень хорошо спланировали бюджет. Например, за место этой сладкой каши и мороженого мы могли бы взять целую шедевральную пиццу из чижика.
Unfortunately, we don't have 50 rubles for some pizza.
Ну ничего, в следующий раз, следующий челлендж.
So these are the products that we bought for 469 rubles and 70 kopecks. And here it is in the world currencies for anyone who's not in Russia. And now the mission is to survive on all these products for 2 people, which, I mean, it seems very doable. We've got quite the stack here. Not as much as we thought when it was in the bag, but hey, my beautiful wife has some meals planned, so look forward to those. They should be quite nutritious, I hope, and more importantly, very tasty. So let's go and prepare breakfast. I'm starving.
For today's first meal, Zlata decided to make porridge with the fruit we bought. So she just simply made the instant porridge, cut up the fruit and put them together.
So here we have the kasha, the oat flakes, the porridge, and we have some left over. And for this whole meal, it turned out to be 82 rubles and 92 kopecks for 2 people, which for a meal I'd say is not that bad, and quite frankly it looks absolutely delicious. And everyone tell me in the comments, how much would you spend on a breakfast like this where you are? Because I know I have some viewers from countries like Norway where prices are just outrageous, so I'm just curious. These look absolutely delicious, ladies and gentlemen. I am starving and I'm looking forward to this.
Этот завтрак содержит 343 калории. Не так уж много, но у нас еще мороженое.
It's basically just flavoured porridge with a bit of fruit in it for some added nutrition. So let's give it a try.
Очень горячо.
No, of course not. Yeah, there is a little bit too much water, but in general, I think we made a good choice with buying this. So we had an idea for an even more extreme challenge that we could do, which won't have as many nutrients and vitamins as we can have in this meal. And that is a challenge to do it for 100 rubles for a day, which is equivalent of about £1. We'll probably end up suffering for it, but maybe it'll be an interesting video for you. Just tell me in the comments what you think.
На обед у нас будет суп с фрикадельками. Фрикадельки будут из этого фарша, но мы будем использовать не весь фарш, потому что нам еще нужно оставить на ужин. Также в суп будет входить сыр и чуть-чуть томатной пасты, но также не вся, потому что нам это нужно будет на ужин. Начнем с очистки овощей, но потом продолжим. Блин, мы забыли хлеб, у нас как раз оставалось денег. Пен, может быть, ты хочешь сходить за хлебом?
Right, next mission, find the cheapest bread possible. Now I know that Magnita's cheap bread, so let's go and see if we can find something that fits our budget. The jackpot.
Другим способом.
Mission accomplished. Я дома.
Спасибо. У нас осталась одна картошка, потому что мы купили слишком много. Кстати, мы не учитываем масло, соль, потому что это есть в каждом доме, и это было бы всего лишь пара рублей. Берем половину фарша, потому что другая половина нам нужна будет на вечер. Просто делаем такой шар. Ничего добавлять не нужно. Делим, короче, на 2 части сразу. Так как у нас очень мало фарша, мы будем делать очень маленькие. Ну, делаем что-то типа того. Это суп с фрикадельками, популярный суп в России. Не знаю, насколько он популярен в Британии. У вас есть такой? Нет? Ты никогда не пробовал? Ну, попробуешь сегодня. Добавляем сразу картошку и добавляем сразу морковь. Ой, блин, лук горит. Какой-то хаос.
So here we have my beautiful wife's beautiful soup. Still nice and hot, and as I said, we have so much more left over, but let's give it a try, shall we? I quite like that. I'm quite happy that we'll be eating it for a few days, but like the onion is relatively strong in the taste, and you don't taste too much of the cheese, but all of it comes together nicely, especially with those little balls of meat. I think we're going to be quite full today, especially if we take a slice of bread for it, the well-earned bread that I had to go and collect. Bread and potato. So my wife, being both the wizard in the kitchen and a maths wizard, has worked out that for that whole pot, it is 1,318 calories, which is not bad for the price that we paid, which for the whole pot was 142 rubles and 23 kopecks. That's pretty good for that amount of calories, I'd say. So we got a little peckish and we decided to have a little snack because we remembered we had some ice cream.
243 калории, 100 грамм, 44 рубля. 20 лет назад мороженое стоило 6 или даже 5 рублей, то есть в 7-8 раз дешевле. Для настоящего времени сейчас это еще один из самых дешевых вариантов, то есть оно может даже дороже быть.
If you're ever in Russia, do try this. The taste is better than some that you'll find for like 100 rubles. So I'm always happy with this.
Нормально, плюс в том, что это со вкусом черники.
Сколько здесь?
5. Я не очень люблю мороженое. Но магнат будет 9, наверное, или 8.
It'll tide me over until the final meal of the day, which you're about to see right now.
Даже не хочется готовить, не хочется есть, но мы должны закончить этот челлендж. Мы обычно даже хуже едим, и получается гораздо дороже. Получается, что у нас еще и остался суп, это мороженое, и вообще мы очень наелись. Нужно завершить этот челлендж, поэтому приступаем к ужину. Вот оставшиеся продукты. Томатная паста, которую мы забыли добавить в суп, но пойдет вся на спагетти, немного сыра, половина фарша, 1 луковица. Все сейчас пойдет на наш ужин.
So for dinner we decided to use the rest of the mincemeat with that macaroni and make a really hearty meal to end off our day. Whilst we're waiting for the final meal to be ready, how about you take the time to like the video? It really helps out and allows YouTube to show other people the content we put so much work into. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that bell button to not miss our upcoming videos. We have some amazing stuff coming up in the near future for all of you. If you really love what we do, you can also become a channel member here on YouTube to get access to members-only videos, all whilst supporting the channel. Or if you'd just like to give a one-time donation, that's always appreciated. But don't feel forced into it, just your views and comments alone mean the world to us. Anyway, let's tuck into this masterpiece.
And now it's time for the penultimate meal of the day, this incredible pasta, macaroni. Now this segment is something that I did in the Tula video, which is called Coram ili norm. If any of you don't know what coram means, it's fodder, and norm means it's alright. Where would I rate this? Let's give it a try, shall we? What should I rate this? My wife is sat right in front of me, so I'm going to say 9 out of 10. Firmly in the norm position. But in all seriousness, this is the best meal we've had of the day. I'm really, really happy with this. So for all of the 2 plates we have here and the extra we have left, it comes to 131 rubles. That's pretty amazing for a bit of pasta. We'd pay maybe 6 times for 2 people at a restaurant for that. And this is about equivalent in taste. But for 1 plate, the calories are about 800 or 850, which is a lot, but it's what you'd expect from macaroni. And this right here is what's left from today in terms of the ingredients we didn't use. Got a potato, some of this porridge here, and the bread. And here's what's left of what we made. You have the macaroni here, a lot of that's left, and a huge amount of soup is left. We're going to be eating this stuff for days. If you carefully planned your meals and you were very attentive towards all the different deals that you can get at the shop, then you could eat like this for 2 people for about £100 a month in Russia. But it does involve the fact that you'd have to plan out both the meals and pull away some side for the cooking because it takes a lot. Like, to be able to save money, it's the same as everywhere. You have to spend a bit more extra time cooking. But overall, I'm very pleased with today's experiment. Would you be interested in the 100 ruble challenge where we try and live on a day for £1? Or is there anything else that you'd like to see on this channel? Just please tell me in the comments about that. In the meantime, you can watch this video that should be on screen right now from last year where I showed the prices that you have to pay in a shop around here. And please like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, до свидания.